In this bulletin, COVID-19 cases are up again. New Corpo cluster worries authority. And Australia continued to lend a helping hand. And Rubinaka, Fiji. There are 160 new cases of COVID-19 as of last night, with one death at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital. The new cases represent a new daily record, having broken the previous high of 105 cases in the last 2 days. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says of the 160 new cases, 93 are connected to existing clusters. These include 24 from the Nsino Police Barracks, 14 from CWM, 10 from Wunimono in Nosori, 10 from Reservoir Road in Suva, 8 from Tramline in Wakanandi, and 5 from Sakotha. In addition, 7 cases from Dombati in Sinu, 3 from Wela Nosori, 3 from the Navy cluster, 2 from Nawachikuma in Wakanandi, 2 from Grantham Road in Suva, and 1 each from Wanikoso, Navosai, and Nakasi. 13 of these cases are under investigation to determine whether they have links to other cases, while 3 have been identified as primary contacts of earlier cases, and response teams are determining the cluster link. Dr. Fong confirms 32 people have recovered, which means there are now 943 active cases in isolation. 5 people have now died from COVID-19 following the death of a 73-year-old patient at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva on Monday. PS Dr. James Fong says the deceased tested positive 12 days ago, but had been admitted at CWM for almost a month. He was diagnosed with a severe non-COVID illness, and his prognosis was poor. However, Dr. Fong says this has been classified as a COVID death. This is the third death under the current outbreak. The Health Ministry has extended its condolences to the family of the deceased. 7 COVID-19 positive patients have died from non-COVID related illnesses. The detection of a new cluster in the Korobo area outside the containment zone is a concern for relevant authorities. Dr. James Fong says the 4 cases detected in Korobo Telebo are under investigation. Early investigations have revealed that one is a driver that was recruited into the Korobo COVID-19 response team. The other 3 cases are primary contacts of this driver, a relative, and other members of the response team. Investigations are ongoing into how these cases contracted the virus, and the subdivisional medical team are working to contain this new cluster. Ministry of Transport has developed protocols to facilitate the travel between the Viti Levu and Maritime Islands. Permanent Secretary Shaheen Ali says the protocols need to be activated on the ground, hence preparations need to be done. Ali says the red to green zone movement is complex and requirements increase as they will have to think about quarantine. He adds it's a matter of getting the stakeholders together to ensure all arrangements are on the ground.
For Maritime Islands, we have to consider quarantining in the place where people are sort of wanting to go. So if they're leaving from Suva, we may need to sort of think about quarantine facilities here rather than in the islands where there's less supervision from Ministry of Health and Resources.
Australia has extended a grant of $19.7 million to boost Fiji's cyclone recovery program. This will focus on the rehabilitation of school buildings damaged by Tropical Cyclone Yasa. This follows the signing of a direct funding arrangement between the Fijian and Australian governments last week, which should see the funds being utilized over the next 3 fiscal periods. The past few months have been very challenging for Fiji, with being hit by 2 tropical cyclones and a massive second wave of COVID-19. The Australian government will be funding the rehabilitation and reconstruction of 9 schools in the Northern Division. Minister Ruzi Akbar says the need to provide safe learning environment for all kids in Fiji is paramount.
Almost all these schools now have been sort of quickly fixed to ensure that children, when they return to school, go back to conducive learning environments while the rebuilding of new schools will take place.
Grills Restaurant and Bar in Lodala Bay, Suva is one of the first restaurants to go fully digital. The restaurant turned into e-commerce to keep business running while ensuring the safety of customers and employees. Director Vimal Kumar says they have received over 3,000 orders since slowly moving to online in April, and as early this week they are fully online. He says the transition has allowed 15 employees to keep their jobs. Kumar adds COVID safety protocols are strictly followed by employees.
We are generally overwhelmed with the response we are getting from the people. I mean, I didn't expect. I was very skeptical that is online payment going to work, but it has really made a difference already.
We encourage all businesses to make this type of investments and pivot their businesses and operations towards becoming more responsive to the present situation.
Welcome back. Cloudy periods with a few showers are expected over most parts of the country today. The conditions will remain cool. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.